RadNet, a stronger and more connected community.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. I am here tonight live, reconnecting with Mr. Disconnected himself, Ryan Verrill. Ryan, welcome back to the show, man. How are you?
Thanks. It's been a long time since we did this on your show.
100%. I think we did on my show a couple of years ago. Then I think I popped up on your show, and then that's probably about it, right?
Yeah. I think we each did one stream, and then of course the award show that we've done together.
The award show, which we're going to talk about tonight. And then we ended up seeing each other in March over at Panic Fest in Kansas City.
In person, yeah. My local festival here.
Yeah, I all of a sudden I was like looking around and I had to look up. And I was like, holy shit, that's Ryan.
Yeah, I was one of the tall people there, that's for sure.
It's so weird because when you see people in person for the first time, like those are the things you don't realize, right? It's like how tall people are or how short people are, right? Like we only see from this far up. So what's going on elsewhere? It's interesting when you see somebody the first time. That's why it's like I noticed by the face, but then I'm like, holy shit, he's big, dude.
Well, and with everything that you do, I mean, we should point out I've lost 120 pounds since I saw you.
I was going to say something to you about that because I could tell by looking at you, but I was like, I didn't want to say it and you'd be like, no, I just got a haircut, like I didn't want to go there, but man, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. Not eating like a major fat ass. That's it.
So you changed the eating habits then?
I did, yeah. But
how
6'5". Great, light on my feet, healthier, and able to tackle the next project. That's for sure.
Because I think when we spoke one of the times, I think we were talking about something like that, maybe behind the scenes or something. I think you mentioned, maybe I'm wrong if it wasn't you, that you were having like knee issues or anything. Was that you?
Well, I've had surgery on my foot a couple times, but it's not from weight.
Oh, okay.
It's just all kinds of random crap.
I didn't know if you were feeling better, joint pain wise or anything like that too.
I mean, as much as I can be. My joints are screwed for life, sadly. It's a chronic thing. But yeah.
Well, congrats, man. That's awesome, dude.
Thanks. Yeah.
See, I don't want to come off rude, but I appreciate you calling that out because I did notice right away.
Well, with what you do, I mean, it makes sense to bring it up. If you were like a used car salesman, that'd be weird.
But man, like we wanted to talk about this, and I know we had been chatting back and forth a little bit, and you had mentioned that you've got a lot of things going on, and you're like, I want to try to get the word out, kind of tell people what's going on. And I'm like, yeah, man, like we can do this, and we can talk to my audience and kind of let them know what's going on because we definitely talk physical media around here, and it's a pretty big announcement, I think, and if anybody hasn't heard, you are now co-running new basically distribution company on physical media called Antenna, correct?
Yes, sir. And technically, it's a lot more than just physical media. I really want to highlight that part because there's quite a few companies in this space that just do physical media, and more power to them. Nothing against that, but I am all about the theatrical space, and there's a lot of films that will pretty much only do well digitally. So we're doing a lot of digital stuff too.
So obviously, with you being a big fan of movies, physical media, as myself. We always kind of wish like, oh man, I would do it this way, or I can't believe they're doing this. I would want to change. Like we all can be, those Monday morning quarterbacks all we want and have opinions about what we think is good, what we don't. And of course, everybody's opinions are going to be different. But now you actually can play this game to an extent and be like, all right, here's what I think we need. Here's what I think is working for certain companies. Here's what's not. And, let's talk about this because you said this was kind of in the works now for a while and it's finally like kind of coming to a head here.
Yeah, this all started, gosh, April or May of 2024. So we're hitting almost 2 full years. And technically, I'd tried to get this going a couple times before with a couple other groups, and it just didn't work out. Wasn't the right partnerships. And now planning better and getting everything set up, it is the right time. Was finally the way that I needed it to go down, and made some other relationships that could help expand our network, because a lot of this, it really only started because of what I had done through all of this, meeting a lot of people and really discovering everybody that I know and could almost have as mentors. There's so many people that have helped along the way and given advice and thoughts and just learned a lot of the way. It's something that I'm super super happy that I've been able to reach out through YouTube and the podcast and everything I've done.
So now you've obviously had people that are doing this currently or have done stuff like this currently, giving you advice on,
Yeah.
Getting this started, what to do, what to expect. Is anybody like, don't do it, run? Like,
Surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, a lot of them. And
really?
a couple times it was like, haha, don't do it. It's terrible. And some other times it was like, haha, don't do it. It's not a great time. And
Mhm.
I get it. It is something that's, if you're approaching it the same way as everybody else, it's not a great time for a lot of this. That's for sure.
Now, are they saying it from the sense of like, oversaturation? Are they saying it from the sense of them, oh, the writing's on the wall, this doesn't feel like it has enough time left, or, some of the movies we're after, like it's hard to get licenses now. Like, I mean, what is it, online critics? Every time we do something, all people do is bitch. Like, I mean, what is it? A little bit of everything, or is there mainly certain things where they kind of like, are you crazy for trying to do this now in 2025, 2020, so just curious.
That last one's probably the biggest one, and it's mostly like the political landscape right now affecting economics and the attacking of the arts and just the reality of inflation and the economy and the real world, that none of this is essential. Nobody has to watch movies. This is
Mhm.
all literally just entertainment and frivolous in the grand scheme of things. And so this is one of the first areas that are to go when we eventually lose the ability to afford daily life. And so sadly, if you're choosing between dinner and a movie, you're likely not choosing a movie.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally kind of understand all that and see that, right? Because we're already seeing it with some of these collectors that we're doing a lot of more of this stuff, which now have really kind of backed off because financially things are going up in price and everything is going up in price, not just the movies, but it's like, okay, this is more expensive, and now this movie that I want to buy is more expensive too. And
Yep.
you're right, like sometimes things have to give, where sometimes like, well, I'll just watch it on Tubi or whatever. But I think also in some aspects the market is there and maybe growing because when you look at it from a different point of view, it's like a lot of people are kind of getting tired of the feeling like they're out of control when it comes to things
Yep.
like movies and music, and it's like, hey, they changed the sound of this album that I've loved all these years, and hey,
Yeah.
that part in that movie that I like is gone, or hey, that doesn't look like the way I've always like, or hey, that movie or album that I want to listen to is now gone from the service that I'm using it on. Like, right, there's so many obstacles as well now, where I think some people who maybe were out of the game might be trying to get back in the game. And I'm going to say this, and again, obviously, now I'm sure what you guys are doing is top quality stuff, but like I'm even seeing more people at thrift stores, like in that DVD department, like that are getting back into physical media and just
Yep.
buying stuff at a thrift store for like $1 because of these very things that I was talking about, where kind of what's old is kind of new again for whatever reason. People like to have physical copies of certain things, and that could be beneficial to some of these companies, and it's just kind of trying to find that happy medium, I think. But can you relate to any of that?
I mean, more than most, I would say. Not only do I think that the market is there, I truly think in this political landscape specifically, I think we're going to see some expansion of physical media. I mean, the attacks on the arts right now specifically. I mean, none of us can even say that those are going to be out there in 6 months. I mean, who knows what they're going to try to do to block some of that, or have Netflix buy more and more companies and suddenly they're not available, and all of those things coming to a head and people losing access to those things. People are realizing it means a lot to be able to grab these things and be able to hold them and put that in the player and not have somebody be able to take it out of your hand. And whether that's a $20 Blu-ray or a $40 4K or like a $1.50 DVD from a thrift shop, they're all yours. It's something that cannot go away if it's in your hand. And that is the best time for this. I mean, art and films in particular are protest, which means this is the right time for that to step up and be something where you are using that to speak your voice. So, yeah.
I can totally agree. I mean, it's weird, man. Like, I don't know if sometimes I wonder in my head if this is it just me and my weird collecting mindset? But like, and I don't know if I'm bored of certain things now. Like, I've got everything, right? Like, I don't know what it is, but I've been finding myself now, like when I'm going to a thrift store, I'm not just looking at, movies. All of a sudden now I'm looking at VHS tapes, DVDs, Blu-rays, and I'm like, you know what? These CDs over here that I used to have, like, I wouldn't mind having these again. And, I'm going to get a stereo system and I'm going to do this. Like, it's like, what is wrong with me? I'm like,
I just got my first laser disc player.
Did you really?
Yeah, genuinely.
So, I mean, that's the thing too. Like, I'm expanding more into like getting back into the things that I never thought I would be interested in again. Like, I sold my VHS collection. I buy more VHS tapes now than I do anything else, trying to get it all back and, preserving some of these old editions that maybe, don't mean anything to anybody. But to me, I'm like, no, I want to keep these safe. I want to, make sure these don't get destroyed. And they meant so much to me. And now I'm buying CDs and I'm like, oh, I used to have this. I sold them when I got this thing. So now I'm like trying to get all these back for $1 at the thrift shop. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like, what the hell's wrong with me? I'm just accruing all this stuff that I thought I'd never do this again. But hopefully there's more people like us out there, which is going to keep this, industry alive, basically. And in some ways, when some people like physical media is dying, I look at other aspects and I'm like, I don't know, man, it kind of feels like it's thriving too at the same time. But
it is.
Give us a backstory on Antenna. Let's put this on you and you tell us what this is, what it's about, the expectations that we can have, and what are we going to see from this company.
So Antenna really started a couple years ago when I had the filmmaker Francis Galuppi over on my channel. We were there because he put out a movie called The Last Stop in Yuma County in early 2024, and it's incredible. It's this wonderful movie starring Jim Cummings, and when we went into this interview, I knew that he loved physical media. So about halfway through the conversation, we talk about the movie, we do all that fun stuff, but then we're sitting there geeking out over audio commentaries and Criterion and packaging and everything else associated with it. And like jokingly in the middle of this interview, Fran looked at me and says, "Should we start a Blu-ray company?" And I was like, yeah, that'd be fun. Wait, should we should we talk about this? And so we got done with the interview and I was like, hey, I mean, is this something you want to talk about? He goes, I mean, yeah, like if you're serious about it, let's at least have a conversation. And literally 3.5 months later, I was at Fran's house in Los Angeles, pitching him an idea for something that I thought was pretty unique that other companies were not doing. And he went for it. He was all in. He said, I'm all about it. We will do this together and let's go. And so I went out and found my final partner, which is Billy Ray Bruton. Billy Ray is somebody that's got a history in film festivals and theatrical booking and programming. And he was kind of like the last piece of that puzzle that I needed, because I don't have the world of the knowledge on that side. So I've got the physical media. He does not. He's got the theatrical that I don't have. And so it's kind of just a perfect combination. And when we all came together, it was really, hey, we got to do something that people aren't doing. And we've got a few of those ideas in our back pocket that we're going to be putting out there. But the reality is it just has to be good shit. And when we came together, we said, are we going to have a genre? Are we going to have a focus? And no, it's literally just, if it's good and we love it and we want to put our entire reputation and passion behind it, then we'll put it out. And I know that's a crappy way to respond to what kind of things you're going to be releasing, because a lot of people don't know our taste yet. But we're going to show pretty quickly what that is. And we've already shown one thing. Our first title that we announced is a film called Stolen Kingdom. It is a documentary from 2025, which is about individuals that were getting off of the ride at Disneyland and Disney World and going into areas of the parks that they weren't supposed to. And some of them maybe started stealing some things to sell on like Disney black markets. And so they were doing this urban exploring. and they love Disney. They're all big fans of that. And then this documentary turns into like a true crime documentary. Like there's CCTV footage of somebody getting arrested in a police station and stuff like that. It's a really incredible movie. I hope people love it. That'll be coming to theaters in April. Well, technically our first showing is the end of this month in Los Angeles, but wide theatrical release coming in April and May. It'll be playing across the US and a handful of theaters, and then VOD after that, followed by streaming, then eventually a disc.
Nice. Now, are you guys kind of when it comes to what you're trying to obtain, could it be anything, or are you trying to be like, you know what, let's try to find some of these newer films or independent films that we really like and want to make into cult hits and put a lot of packaging on them and really kind of win people over because we think these are what people need to see or should see,
Right.
instead of going after like the heavy hitters or the old titles that a lot of these other companies are working on? Do you guys have a method to that, or is it like, hey, if whatever we can get our hands on, if we like it, we're going to try to put it out?
I mean, there's not going to be any set dates or anything like that. There will be probably more contemporary films than you're used to from companies like Vinegar Syndrome, because Vinegar Syndrome will only do stuff that's put out on film, and I'm not about that life. I love a lot of shot on video stuff. I love a lot of shot on the old HD Digicam stuff. I love a lot of brand new contemporary films, so we're going to do a lot of those. But the reality is, right now, I'm working on a license for a film from 1921. So I will cover the entire gamut of film history. I will do rep titles. I will do full catalog titles. We've even got films that have not debuted anywhere. We've got films that have been made that we found the filmmaker before it actually went public. We're about to announce another title here soon that should kind of surprise some people that we're doing it, but we're also going to be announcing that it's premiering at a film festival, and that will be the very first public screening of the film ever.
Nice. Now, how is the process working? Is it just getting a hold of the right people? Who's the one involved with that kind of stuff? Is it you? Is it someone you're working with on basically finding the ones that you guys are agreeing on and be like, all right, let's work with this? And is the mindset going to be eventually everything comes to disc or is it like the process, like you said, where it's going to be, all right, we'll do maybe like a small theatrical run streaming, and then we'll go here? Like, is there a system that you guys are gonna have in place, or it just depends on title?
It really just depends on title. I mean, there are some films that they simply won't do well in physical media, and we know that. I mean, for example, we just talked about Stolen Kingdom. Documentaries are a hard sell for a lot of people on physical media, but this one specifically, being about Disney and urban exploring and true crime, like all three of those fandoms are very much, physical lovers, even like true crime lovers. A lot of those people that love those documentaries or podcast or like the idea of crime, fascination, a lot of those people buy books on the subject and go to events on the subject, and so we think they're going to show up for it. But it's mostly me and Billy Ray going after a lot of these titles, depending on who gets the contact first. We are meeting with those, and then doing what we can to secure it for either theatrical or disc or everything or whatever is available. Because if we love a movie, we're going to go after it. And most of them, I'm going to say, are probably going to go to disc. But at this point, I mean, I'd love to put them all on disc. I got to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Now, sometimes I don't know if these, sometimes I feel like maybe these are harder for people than not, but like when it comes to you guys saying, okay, we're going to put these to disc, we want to have a stamp on our our product, right? So is there a specific design that you think, hey, I like this design, we should probably, if we're going to do physical, let's make this kind of our design? Or do you guys just going to kind of put it out and figure it out based on each release? Or are you guys looking at having a specific design for most of your physical media releases for like something like Antenna?
So I know that this is sort of a dirty word because of Vinegar Syndrome out there, but I've already got the mindset of a collector. I mean, if you look behind me, clearly
Sure.
I consume a lot of physical media. So one of the things that I'm kind of already looking at is a couple different sub labels, primarily because I am a curator at heart. I mean, when I when I want to show a group a film, I look at who the group is and what they're going to like, and that I have to recognize that a lot of people that are going to buy our stuff are going to like some of this type that we're going to put out and hate some of this type that we're going to put out. So we're going to make sure that those are separated, because just like people like you and I, a lot of them, they love their spine numbers. They love things to look the same. And I know that when I put stuff on this side, they don't want those spine numbers mixed up with these ones. And so we're going to separate those because they're going to be very, very different. And so the ones that are separated, they're going to have very similar style of art or packaging, but that doesn't mean that they're all going to be the same. We are definitely hiring individual artists for every single title and individual artists for every type of title. It's kind of crazy. I've got a spreadsheet with, I think I'm up to like 35, 37 artists, something like that. And every single artist, I've got contact information. I've got releases that they've done and links to be able to see those. I've got links to their website. And then the big thing for me is the last couple cells on the spreadsheet are the style that they do. So whether it's like realism that we're after, really like surreal, if it's something where I want really good face work, if I want like traditional tattoo style, all these other type of things. I've got all these listings so that I can show a filmmaker and say, listen, when I watch your movie, this is what I think. For example, there's one that we're looking at right now that the movie is very technology focused. And there are a lot of artists out there that are like steampunk or really electronic in how they do it. And one of the things that I try to focus on is what style do I like feel when I'm watching the movie? What do I want to hearken when they see this title? And so I recommend a few, and if they jive with those, then we'll reach out to them, because one of the biggest missions with Antenna is being very filmmaker focused. We are looking at making sure that the filmmaker has a say in the release, making sure that they have genuine skin in the game like we do, because it's their film, and it's something where we want to focus on them. And for a lot of people, a lot of these other companies are not involving filmmakers, and I think that might be a little bit of a misconception. A lot of times it's sign over the rights and you're done until you get paid. But I really want these filmmakers to have a say in what is on the disc, a say in the art, a say in overall the packaging that we're selling for your title itself. And obviously we have to approve everything, but if they don't want this certain person to be on the disc to do a commentary, why would I want that on there? It's literally it's their film. They put years of their hard work into it. I don't want to taint the release with something they don't like.
I actually can agree with you, because I've been in situations where I'm kind of working on behind the scenes on some stuff, and I do agree. What you don't realize is that sometimes the director isn't as involved as you would
Right.
think, because to me, I still look at it and I'm like, you should have all the say, because this is your film and this is the first time it's going to be out on physical media, and you would think that it would be the edition that you always dreamed of it to be, and not just be like, all right, here's the rights and you can do whatever you want with it, and then I'll just have to deal with it later down the road. Like, so I can totally relate to that now, and that's excellent, because I do think that a lot of filmmakers sometimes, I don't know if they go through a period of like, shit, I wish I would have said more, or I had more in a
Yep.
contract, or whatever it may be. So again, I think that's really cool. And I do think, and I know this is tough, because, and I'm sure you know about it too, is, to me, packaging is super important. And a lot of people, they're just kind of like, oh, why do people just care about the packaging? It's about the movie. And I totally get that. But I think at the same time, sometimes, like you said, the collector aspect of it, some of the movies that you're working on, the stuff that you guys are doing, it's more for the collector. So you want to kind of have that packaging for them, to enjoy. But I also think too, and one of the things I've always brought up about Vinegar Syndrome is, if you would have asked me when I bought their first couple releases, because I was there literally from day one, and I was just kind of buying whatever they were putting out, because I'll give these guys a chance. Maybe there's some stuff in here I've never heard of that's going to be winners. And they were just doing standard Blu-rays, no slip covers, nothing. And if you would have asked me back then, like, is this company going to be a big deal in 5 years? I probably would have said no. I would probably have been like, nah, they'll just be kind of like a, second rate, boutique company or whatever. And I feel like they just kind of found a niche on like what worked, the limited aspect of it,
Yep.
the fancy slip covers, the FOMO that people, started getting, because all of a sudden now Rad sold out and nobody realized that this was even a possibility for something like this to happen, right? So now everybody's like, oh, I gotta buy it because now these things are gonna be gone and I won't have it, blah, blah. And then on top of that, I think it's taking movies that maybe never got the love and made them feel that way with packaging, kind of like when we were kids and we went to the video store and we bought things based on the package. Like VHS tapes, where I looked and I'm like, oh my God, this looks fantastic. Now, if that package was accurate to the movie, that's a different story, but it got me to take that thing home off the shelf, where I do think these things are big deals, especially if you're taking these films that maybe not everybody knows. And if you pretty them up nice and really hype them, it's going to, I think, open people's eyes to be like, I'll try it. you know, because and I'll trust it. And then at that point it becomes gaining the trust because it's actually a really good movie, and then you kind of can start your line that way. Now, like what you said is the packaging is important to you, and I think is that one of the reasons why for the filmmaker themselves and their product to also, you know, you want it to be something that someone's going to be like, you know what, I'm going to give that a shot because it's really cool looking about the box, and you know, obviously they wouldn't do this to a movie that was garbage, so let me give this thing a whirl.
Right. Although when I say packaging is important to me, I should clarify slightly and say I am never going to do this giant packaging that is a trend in a lot of these other companies right now. And you can
Well, I know which ones you're probably talking about, which I totally understand because
you
sometimes
can clip
when you
that
can't put
and
it on your
play
shelf,
that
it
for
gets a little
ages.
tough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I love big boxes like the next guy. I'm
Mhm.
somebody. I mean, clearly, I love my box sets. There's nothing against that, but I also love not spending all my money on this hobby. I also love being able to put stuff on my shelf and have it fit on a shelf. I also don't love buying one film and have it take up the space of 8 films. And
Mhm.
so, what I really want to do is make sure that people are not feeling taken advantage of. I want to make sure that if I can put something out, it's literally for the lowest price possible. And I'll say now, I don't really plan on having sales because I'm already going to be selling my stuff for the lowest price that I possibly can. This whole $50 and $70 for one movie, and you know, some of these other labels that are doing these giant boxes that are way more than that. Even I can't do that. I can't do that to anybody. Um, I just I wouldn't feel good about it. You know, I'm planning on putting out films that I can release for around somewhere between like $22 to $27, and if we're doing a double feature, it might be slightly higher because I'm paying to license 2 films. But I'm a real big fan of like the Criterion style case with eye-catching art. I might do like a small run of like not even like Vinegar Syndrome super thick slipcovers, but like smaller slipcovers just to give a little more like nod to the art for the people that really want that bonus thing on the shelf. But it's just not worth it. I mean, I'd rather put more money on the disc than around the disc. That doesn't sell an item for me. So I'm going to do what I can to make sure that people feel like they're getting their money's worth.
Okay, so you're saying as far as the aesthetic of it, you're looking at maybe more of like a Criterion style case with maybe a possible slip over. So you're not going the route of even like the arrow boxes or anything like that.
If we happen to nail a huge title and I can do something crazy, then I might do a hard box release way down the line, but it will not be a common thing. It will not be an expensive thing no matter what. Even then, if I'm ever able to do that, and God, I'm going to go out on a limb and say if it's a 4K, if it's a really special film, I had to pay more for licensing. I still would never release that for more than $40. I can't feel good about that.
Now, do you again, I'm not in it, right? You're in it.
Yep.
Do you think, and this is just my opinion, or do you think that a lot of these are overpriced in the aspect of what you think that they're costing these companies? Do you think that when you look at this, you're like, yeah, these are marked up big time, or do you not know, or do you feel like I guess it probably cost them X, Y, and Z to make these things?
That is a very tough question. If we were talking about individual companies, I think I could answer that a lot better. I think there are some companies that are paying so little for what they're doing that it's appalling what they're charging people for. I think there are other companies that are paying so little for supplemental features that it's appalling what they're charging for them. I also think there are other companies that have always charged higher than the rest of the market, and that sort of thing is embarrassing for what they've still been able to put out for the last handful of years. But there are other companies that are doing really well with the prices. I mean, I'm consistently very impressed that Radiance has been able to keep their prices at like 25, 27 bucks for brand new titles. And I think 4Ks even are like 29, something like that. Eureka is consistently great priced. 88 Films is consistently pretty great priced. I am very thrilled with a lot of those import labels from overseas. Honestly, a lot of the domestic ones are the ones that are super overpriced, but there are lots of U.S. companies that are doing well. I mean, Deaf Crocodile is extremely inexpensive. The hard part is when you start talking about some of these companies that are putting more and more work into it. So, like Kino Lorber, a lot of people bring them up as look at their sales. It's only $9.99 for a regular Blu-ray. while that's true, Kino did hardly anything to put that thing on disc. There's basically no new special features, maybe a new audio commentary. You're not getting the highest quality encoding. You're not getting the largest discs. You're not getting really great authoring on their discs. You're not getting like eye-catching new artwork. You're not getting a lot of love into those titles, which fair, that deserves its place in the market. Nothing against it. However, I see a better market for those titles than I think Kino does.
So you kind of, yeah. So you're saying when you look at your stuff, you're kind of in the middle, right? Like of what you see some of these companies doing.
Middle
like you're
or on the like the high end of the low side. That is the worst way to say that. Like the low end of the middle is the way I would say that. Yeah.
All right. Now, like you said, you're working on that first disc now and you know, getting that ready. Now, when do you think you will see the first release from Antenna? Do you guys have a date in mind of like, hey, let's aim for this? Or are you kind of just like, we got to see how everything else kind of pans out here?
I am planning to have a disc in people's hands by the end of 2026. The current plan is to have pre-orders up in either September, October, November, around there. And when I'm doing this, I'm not into this whole you're waiting 4 months until you get a disc in hand, or like some of these other companies, like 8 months until it's in hand. I'm more in like pre-orders are not going to go up until it's on the way to us, and it's something that we will be able to be shipping within a few weeks. So I'm hoping that by like October at the latest, we can announce and have it be shipping by the end of November-ish. But at the same time, if it's not ready and I'm not there yet, maybe it'll be out in January. I just won't announce it yet. I won't announce until it's done and ready.
Well, it's funny that you say that because, you know, talking to some people that are involved in doing this stuff, you know, they've kind of learned the hard way that like, you know what, I'm not saying shit anymore until it's like ready to go, because you never know what's going to happen. Number one. And number two, you don't know if certain people are jumping the gun to just, you know, get their name out there again. Like, oh, we haven't said anything in a while. Let's just tell them this. And all of a sudden now you're like, shit, I ordered that like 8 months ago or 6 months ago. And there's even, I think, a company that most people know, I didn't get my disc till almost a year. And I'm like, I forgot I even pre-ordered the thing. And all of a sudden it popped. I got an email saying it shipped. I'm like, damn, like I totally forgot I even pre-ordered this thing. Because I think more people are learning that. And again, it could just be issues with, you know, getting them made and they weren't expecting the hiccups and whatnot. But yeah, so I mean, I think some people are learning now, like until you know that you're going to have this thing in hand, it's probably best case to not announce a pre-order or anything like that, just in case.
Well, not only that, 2025 was rough for a lot of these people. And there's a lot of these companies that are not even saying all of the bad things that have happened for them out there. And I think a lot of it is to not disrespect anybody, but I mean, manufacturing itself took a big hit last year. We are looking at like, you know, 4K discs are really scarce right now. And that's why, you know, like when Night of the Living Dead 1990 came out last year and it sold out before pre-order or before the release date or whatever, but then it came back a couple months later. That's because 4K discs were so hard to be, you know, manufactured properly. They're literally only being made in like one or two plants around the world. Blu-ray discs are much better, but the 4K discs are hard to get. But there's a lot of circumstances right now with tariffs last year and with inflation hitting everybody harder and people losing their jobs and all these other things. It's a lot to take in, and so many of these companies are just not able to keep up with it. And a lot of times too, the companies that they're working with, they're not holding up their end of agreements. And so you might have a swing of things where you're going and announcing things and everything's fine for 3 years. And suddenly something happens that you have no say in, and the other side of the agreement is not being held up. And you just continued on as if it was going to be okay. And now maybe it's not. So there's just a lot of problems. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. This whole process is massively complex. And for many of these companies, it's a worldwide thing. You're working with people literally all over the entire world.
And that's why they told you not to do it.
Yeah, that is one of them.
Because of those things that come up that are very on the unexpected, right? So, all right. Well, that's great news. So, I mean, again, Antenna, new company, got some stuff in the works. We can hopefully expect our first physical media release from the company at late 2026, hopefully towards the end of the year, Q4. Maybe disc in hand, kind of see exactly how these things are looking. I can't wait to see more like pictures and stuff as things get closer. But another big thing you've been working on, which you've been doing for the last couple of years, and it's actually really cool.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, was it kind of one of the firsts with something like this? Because I see more and more start to pop up here and there. And
Yeah.
to me, it was always the first because, I've
Yeah.
been involved the last couple of years and doing presenting and stuff like that. So it was the first time I had ever really, been involved in anything like that. And
Yeah.
it was either just because maybe I was just kind of new to all this at the time and it was going on before I got involved in YouTube,
It was
or
that.
this was something new, right? This was
Yeah.
a new thing.
Yeah, we were the first.
Okay, and it is the Shelf Shock Rewind Physical Media Awards. And this is what, year 3, Ryan?
This is 4, actually.
Holy mackerel. 4.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. So that's that. That is why it makes me feel older. Like I feel like I've just started doing this, but 4 years. Now you have a new co-host this year.
Yeah, I mean, every year it's been me and a rotating co-host. We had Stephen Billings, we had Celeste Le Cabra last year, we had Michelle Kisner. This year we got Chris Higgins. You all might know him as Bearded Film Guy over on Instagram and YouTube. Chris is amazing. Somebody that shares a lot of the same sensibilities as myself. One of the big things that he's hitting this year is like the campaign of physical media's education for you to understand that there's a lot to learn from these discs themselves. So Chris, it seemed like a natural fit. He's a close friend, and yeah, can't wait for the show to happen.
Yeah, East Coast guy. So I'm cool
Yeah.
with Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cool, and it'll be good to see him kind of take that realm. And I feel like last time talking to you, you said it's a lot of work, right? So you need somebody that's ready to put their foot to the grind, because it's not an easy gig getting all this set up and ready to go. And then not only that, but to put on the show and make sure everything's running according to plan. So
yeah, I mean, last year we had segments from huge names. I mean, Joe Lynch, Sean Baker was in the show last year. Francis Galuppi. A lot of people didn't realize he was already working on the company with me, and so he was able to be a part of the award show last year. We had the entire cast of the movie Dinner in America, which includes Kyle Gallner. It was kind of crazy to have them involved, but not to mention all of our presenters. Like, nobody does more than one category, and that's from people all over the world, from podcast, YouTube channels, filmmakers. We have, special effects, or sorry, special features producers. We have artists from around the world. We have just an insane cavalcade of people that want to be involved and share their passion for these things. And so, getting all those people involved, all the emails, all the video editing, making sure the sound is mixed properly, that takes a lot of time. And then, not to mention, it's literally like a production. For anybody that's watching any of the shows, I'm literally controlling which is going to go up, responding to comments, highlighting people, making sure that we're going down the right order. We've got everything ready to go, and it is just an immense pleasure. But oh my gosh, is it a chore? I feel like the day after the award show, I always just want to lay there and like, oh, it's all over. Oh, it's crazy.
now let me ask you this, because I forget now. Like, is the whole thing recorded, or are you guys live with recorded elements?
It is fully live with recorded
Dude,
segments for each
I
of the
actually don't
categories.
even know how you put that together and not have the computer
Yeah.
want to blow up, because I've done small little bits on
Yeah.
like anniversary shows where I'll have like little clips and stuff. And sometimes like I use StreamYard. I don't know what you guys are using, but like it can't even house a lot of that stuff.
Nope.
So unless you're like deleting and then re-putting new stuff in it,
Yep.
that is why that's a lot of bad work, man. Because I'm thinking, shit, like there's only so much it can do at once.
Yeah.
And as you're taking one thing out, you've got to have your files open and dragging the new thing in as upcoming.
Oh yeah, that, and then
Wow.
we've got a program open in another tab, and I'm we're doing giveaways and responding to people. It is insane.
That is wild. But so that
Yeah.
is going to air, I think, on February 15th. It's a Sunday night, correct?
Yes, sir. February 15th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. We always do this 1 week after the Super Bowl. That way there's no excuses. You can be there. There's no football on. You can watch the show. Everybody can be there Sunday night. Hope people enjoy it. It's a blast. And yeah, for like giveaways and stuff, you got to be there live. So make sure you come hang out that night.
Now, can you give any hints on like any special guests or giveaways or anything like that people can expect when they check it out?
I have tried to do my best. We'll highlight giveaways tonight. I've done my best to try to get some varied packages, because in the past we've always done like, you can get this one release, and I as much as that's cool, I really want people to get a taste of a few different things. So I've been saving up a lot of shit that I'm going to put like 2 or 3 films together and try to be able to get those out to people. And it's just a blast. And be prepared to answer some trivia and be quick on the keyboard.
Nice. And what's cool too is to see it grow, because I can
Yeah.
remember the first year that you did it and see it grow to the point where these companies now are actually posting about getting the award,
Yep.
right? And it's really cool to see like how far it's come, because they're taking it serious as well. And again, like we said about the directors, it's these companies showing pride in their work. If the
Oh, yeah.
fans are, giving them an award for best this or best that, and I think that it really does just probably makes a company feel good. Because they're like, oh wow, like this was a hit, and let's try to
Oh,
beat
yeah.
this next time, or do something very similar, because there were a lot of good releases this year as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not even deep enough in the weeds like you are with some of this other stuff. Like I kind of stay in a certain realm more or less, but there was a lot of good ones. I did like a top 10 or whatever, and there was like more to choose from. So
Yeah.
it's definitely going to be some good stuff going on over there.
Well, and thankfully, I feel like, what is the best way to say this? It feels a little more I think it'll be a little more surprising to see who wins this year. Like last year during the award ceremony, The Hitcher had come out, and 2024 was huge because The Hitcher, and it won like 8 of the categories, and that's great. It's an immense release. I love it. It's literally in one of these stacks right here. It's incredible. However, it does suck to just say The Hitcher 8 times in one night. I feel like
You know what? That's like Michael
people are gonna be a
Jackson
lot
in the
mad.
80s, though, in the Grammys. He
Yeah.
won like 10 times. I mean, it happens
Yeah.
sometimes,
And it does, but I feel like every year that happens, and this year, like, the nominees are kinda a little more all over the place.
Mhm. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great, because again, there were a lot of bangers from all the different companies and stuff that came out. And
Yep.
I'm excited to check it out. What else can we expect as far as, do you have, like you said, you had Joe Lynch last year. Is there anybody else that you might make a cameo? Is this all surprises? You got to be there to see it,
I never announce them ahead of time. I am
just in
working
case.
I am working my magic to make sure that I can get a few, hopefully. But yeah, just in case. And the hard part too is it is literally like the busiest time of the year for movies. I mean, people are out there doing brand new festival runs. People are out there getting ready for award shows. People are out there on vacation because they just finished like the horror filmmakers. A lot of them just finished press for October, November, December, so they're gone doing things. A lot of those guys can't do much. So it's kind of the toughest time of the year to nail people down. I'm an idiot and I picked this time of the year, but it's kind of crazy. I hope people like what we were able to put together.
Now, are you guys still working on putting everything together? Like it's not done by any means now,
No,
right?
God, no. I'm going to be working like 60 hours a week for the next like 10 and a half days to get this out there.
Well, that's another thing too, because Ryan, I talk about this all the time. Is I'm like, oh, I'm so busy. I run a business. I do this. I do that, and I'm trying to make sure I can still find time for this, because I love doing
Yep.
this stuff and talk to you guys about all this stuff. And it's like it's fun, but it does feel like work sometimes, right? But you're
Yeah.
you're doing Antenna now. Now you've got these award ceremonies going on, and you're doing your social media stuff and your YouTube channel now. With all this new stuff on your plate, like, are you still working your normal job as well, or is Antenna the new job? Like, what's going on here?
I mean, Antenna still has not made a dime yet. Nothing is released. So Antenna is not the normal job yet. The hope is that fairly quickly Antenna could be the normal job, but we'll see. I mean, a lot of these companies that are bigger took years before they started being able to pay people salary. So I'm not counting on that necessarily. But if we can, we can. That is certainly my hope. Yeah, still work a day job. Still have 2 kids that see me and spend time with me. I just got done throwing a football with both of my kids a few minutes ago. I still publish a magazine. I still host my podcast and multiple other podcasts. I still run a podcast network. My wife still enjoys my presence for some reason. I still take time for myself. I just went to Seattle for 5 days. Yeah, it's a crazy busy life, but it keeps me motivated.
I was gonna say, you got something going on all the time now.
Yeah, and stress looks good. I mean, when you lose 130 pounds, it's easier.
You're like, I can do anything.
Yeah.
That was the hardest shit I've had to do. This is easy. But no, man, that's awesome. Now, before we kind of wrap it up, I'm sorry for the chat. I see you guys in here. We had a lot to talk about. I wanted Ryan to really get into the weeds of what he's got going on, but if you want, I can scroll through and you guys can start popping questions for me or him.
Yeah,
And
let's do some
hopefully we can answer
questions.
whatever we can here. All right. I'm going to see what we got for some comments in the chat. Let me see if there's anything good here. What's up, TJ? He said, great name, Antenna.
Thanks.
Let's see. McHar is going to start collecting salt and pepper shakers, so that's good to know. He's going to hit that up at the thrift. He announced not going to be mostly. It's going to be all genres, and he said probably sub labels for different things. Okay. Adjust your tracking again. I do have that as well. That was a great documentary that I do have on physical media. For me, I actually do buy a lot of documentaries on physical. I'm a big documentary guy. Now, how about this? This is interesting. Any sub-label dedicated to kids or family films?
I will say, as a parent, I am very, very in love with a lot of kids and family films. So we'll talk about that. I want to do many of those. The hard part, rights for kids and family films are generally a lot more difficult to untangle because they're usually owned by a studio because those are the ones willing to put in the money. So I'll see what I can do.
It's interesting you say that because I actually really did love Severin Kids line like a lot. I was digging that a lot because a lot of those I grew up with, and they're more like the obscure ones. Like I'm looking at my wall right now, and two that come to mind that I don't have any good editions of. I'm like Hug a Bunch, Purple People Eater. Like those two right there that I have on like bootleg DVDs or DVDs up here are two that I'm kind of like, yeah, no one's touched those weird ass movies from back in the day. And what was the other one? Like I also think the Vinegar Syndrome sub-label, the Canada one. What's that one?
The Canadian International Pictures.
They had some cool ass kids movies from Canada that I really like. So there's some cool stuff out there. Let me see what I was talking about the package art. People are talking about the pricing, so they're happy that it's going to be a little bit lower. Okay, I'm way behind. Sorry, guys. Okay, here we go. How many titles are you expecting to release as like an official release year for Antenna?
If we're just talking physical media, my plan is to do one every month. I'm not planning on overwhelming that. I'm not planning on necessarily keeping to that immediately if we are unable to produce something. But the plan is I don't want to start putting stuff out until I have stuff lined up for multiple months in a row.
Shelly says, love your content. Keep going. I hope you have an amazing day. So I don't know if she's talking to me or you, but thank you, Shelly. Appreciate that. Hit that thumbs up. Dark Room Reviews. Thank you, man, for being here. Shelly also says, hope you have a great success with your company. I grant you great luck. Shelf Shock Awards shows is great. Dell. What's up, Dell? What's up, Frank? So here's another cool one, actually. It's not cool, but it's this, I see this as well when I talk to other people. Sometimes people don't feel like because they don't have specific releases, they don't feel educated enough to voice their opinions on some stuff instead of just closing their eyes and guessing.
Right.
Do you get that a lot if people aren't collecting specific things?
Not only do I get that a lot, one of the big things that we've done for the awards show, which we don't really go into a lot when talking about the show, is we have what is essentially our version of the Academy. We have the Creator Selection Committee, and it is people that are producers themselves, people that run labels, people that are filmmakers, people that are podcasters, YouTubers, stuff like that, that are all here to nominate titles. They look at everything and they can put forward a list of up to 5 on each of the categories that they think are the best. I calculate the totals for all those, and whatever gets the most votes, those are the ones that get nominated. Now, this year is the first year so far that I had, not the first year that anybody has done this, but like the biggest year where I've had people say, listen, I just couldn't get to as many titles as usual, and I'm going to have to pull away and not nominate this year, which kind of stinks because I want their voice to be heard. And even if they only saw, 1 or 2 per that category, that was great. They want to be able to champion those titles, and I want them to as well. So I wish they would have nominated those. But for voting wise, I think there's a lot of people that feel that way. But the reality is, even if you saw a few and you really liked one, there's even a write-in option. If a title that you didn't love wasn't nominated, you could write it in. And if enough people feel that way, you could still win. Absolutely.
Okay, well, I think it's John, but I could be wrong. He wants to just go over the details again. I saw you wrote it in the chat. I just wanted everybody to hear it one more time so people are there. It's live.
Yeah. Live Sunday night, February 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern over on my channel. It will also be on the Shelf Shock Rewind Awards channel. Yeah, check it out. Either place.
And guys, his info will be in the description box if you guys want to click that link and go check it out his channel here. It's here. It's at the Disconnected. And the award show is going to be Sunday the 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a cool question here as well. See what you can say about this. What do you think the single most thing lacking on physical media right now is?
I could be snarky and say quality control. But the biggest thing I'll say representation, primarily of Disney-owned titles, and I think that's one of the biggest problems right now. Studios that are just blocking shit that they have no reason to. Make some money, license your stuff out there. Accessibility to films is one of the most important things, and I think it's kind of gross that the rich are hoarding those things and keeping it away from consumers like us that would gladly pay $23 to own something that we love.
Now, again, like, why do you think that is? Because they want us to subscribe to their network and be like, this is the only way you guys can see these movies?
It's control. I mean, if they could get you to pay $21 a month for the next year, why would they want to give you something for $23 for you to own forever?
Mm-hmm. Right. Is there, but for some reason, again, I haven't really gone super deep into searching, but a lot of these things were like, oh, Disney owns it, Disney owns it. Are these literally all on the Disney Plus, or are there a lot of movies that are just still missing and they own them, but they're not, you can't even watch them there?
Not only that, most of them are not on any streaming networks at all.
Like things like Can't Buy Me Love, is that on Disney Plus? Because I mean, I assume
definitely not. It might be on Hulu, but I don't think it is.
Right. Like things like that, or like, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitters. All these ones that we're still waiting for. I don't even know if they're accessible. I've never really searched for them. I have the physical media copies, so I've never have to look for them. But I'm just curious, on that kind of stuff, is if they're just kind of being held hostage and nobody gets to see them.
Yeah, that's the thing. They want to make you rely on them solely, and that it's a thing. It's a subscription. They want you to be on the hook forever, literally.
He kind of answered this, but let's go over it one more time. Is there a specific boutique label you think you can say that your company could be similar to, as far as what your plan is here, as far as either design or feature wise, or how you're kind of planning? I think you kind of mentioned Criterion a little bit.
I mean, I work with companies that I respect. I work with companies that I respect a lot. That's what I was trying to say there. And so a lot of companies that I've given a lot of my time to, like TerraVision and Def Crocodile, are probably good answers here. I like a lot of like the style of Def Crocodile releases, and I like a lot of the goofiness of TerraVision releases. That's why, I produced a special feature for a TerraVision release that had my buddy, who is literally an academic professor in a wig, talking about Jim Wynorski films. And that sort of thing is fun. That should be on a release. That's the kind of thing that I love to see. And so I love the kind of care and attention that they put into their titles, and I definitely want to emulate some of that. I think there are a lot of labels that I could say I'm going to avoid what they want to do, but I think if you are thinking about it as a complaint right now, I'm probably doing what I can to avoid it. And I'm not going to say that I'm a know-it-all or I'm the one who knows the most about all these labels, but I will say, as somebody that literally discusses every single English-friendly release every Thursday night on my show, I've probably said the exact same complaints that you're saying about these companies many, many times over, and I'm going to do everything I can to avoid all those.
KB in the house. What's up, brother? How are you, man?
Hey.
People asking a reversible artwork. I don't know if that's even anything on your radar right now or not.
Not only is it on the radar, it's already in place. Yes.
Ooh, yes. Wow. All right. I wasn't expecting that answer. What's up, Justin? Sorry if this has been asked already, but are there any films released on Blu-ray that you'd release on Blu-ray or 4K? I don't know if he means for your company or just in general. I mean, I'm sure there's tons out there, but
well, I'm gonna give an opposite answer to that. I think there's a few that I would do, but the reality is I'm not really interested in re-releases. I'm mostly going to try to put out stuff that has never had a release, or it's a brand new film, so it's going to be the first release anyways. I personally am not a format upgrade. That's not something that gets me going. My big thing is discovery. If it's a film I've never had a chance to see in HD, if it's a film that is brand new that I can discover, if it's something that I want to show people in a new light, that is great. But I certainly will never be making a habit of that sort of thing, and I will never upgrade a title that we're putting out. If it's something that is possible on 4K and I would ever consider it, I'm going to do that first time. It's just I'm not that sort of a person. I can't do that.
I mean, I actually do like that answer because I talk about that all the time. I mean, I'm not upgrading as much as I used to, and a lot of it is just I don't want to. How many times am I going to do this for the same movie over and over and over again? Discovery is the reason that I got into, and I still really enjoy things like TerraVision and Vinegar Syndrome because I'm still discovering things that I never knew existed. And if I look around this room and see thousands and thousands of movies here, and then all of a sudden can find one that passed me by all these years and put it on and be like, oh shit, I love this movie. Where's this been? So I totally am in agreement with that. And it's kind of good that you said if you can do 4K, great, because it's kind of the format that something comes out, people are like, oh, I'll wait for the 4K, right? Like that's the mindset a lot of people have. But like you said, if you can do it, you can do it. If not, why release it again just to upgrade a little bit of an uptick in quality?
Well, and I'll say most of my releases will not be 4K, and most of my stuff will never be released on any other format, and I can guarantee that already.
So you're looking mostly still on the Blu-ray side of it.
Yep, absolutely. It's what makes sense for many of these releases. I mean, if you're releasing stuff that is from 1921 all the way up to 2026, it doesn't make sense to put everything on 4K, especially when it's not going to be in 4K quality, because a lot of it wasn't shot on film. A lot of it was shot at 2K or below. And so even though sure, I could get like an HDR upgrade out of that, which technically that's not even an upgrade in some people's eyes, it's just not worth it. And all that a lot of labels do is do that to be able to get more money out of the consumers. And
that's a great segue, actually. That's a great segue because I haven't talked to you about this, and I know, like I said, you are reviewing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of in that boat too. Like I do a lot of videos where I talk about things that could be upgraded, mostly from DVD or VHS to a higher format. That's usually what I'm kind of talking about. Now, there might be some ones that I'll do about certain Blu-rays that could use it. And when I say I could use it, it's more or less, I say it could use the upgrade because those Blu-rays are no longer available. It's not even that I look at anything and be like, oh, I need this in 4K because it's going to look way better. I say, I want this upgraded, probably 4K, because maybe that's the only way this will get released again. So it's not lost or out of print anymore. Yeah. Because I knew a lot of people do, upgrade everything. And for me, it's been very rare that I put a 4K in. And again, I'm sure blown away. But if you asked me how much better than the Blu-ray it looked, if I didn't watch that Blu-ray like right before, like I wouldn't even notice. You could put me a Blu-ray in a 4K case and say it's a 4K, and I put it on my TV and believe you, right? Like, and I don't know if it's just my eyes. I don't know if it's just what I'm looking for in the movie or not. And I know some people are like, oh, I could tell a difference completely. I guess I can if there's a lot of color correction. I might watch it and be like, this doesn't look the way I've always remembered it. Now, what's your, I want to hear your view on that stuff too, because it seems like most people in the space are very 4K dominant, right? Like on their views. I'm not that way. If, a movie I just bought stays on Blu-ray forever, I'm quite all right with that. It saves me some money. What is your stance on that, by the way?
If both are out there, unless it's an absolutely terrible disc, I will not. I will generally not buy the Blu-ray. Or I'll pretty much always buy the 4K. I think the biggest thing here is that a lot of people that are not seeing difference in quality generally don't have like high quality hardware, and that's not meant as a dig necessarily, but to get the most out of the format, you really do kind of need high-end hardware sometimes. So like OLEDs are absolutely going to be the peak for visual quality. Audio quality is a completely different thing. And then also the hardware that you're actually putting the disc in, hopefully you're paying for something that's not like a dedicated video game system. Usually those are vastly inferior to something that's a dedicated player. There's a lot out there. The biggest thing is that 4K and Blu-ray, it's all from the same format. They all have the same like scratch protection. They all have the same like life expectancy. They all have the same questions on what is going to perform well. The reality, though, is if you're buying like an $800 player, that is going to play better than like a $300 player, and that sucks. Like it sucks that technology is locked behind some of that, but yeah, I do prefer 4K if it's available. Just the reality is not everything is, most things are never going to be on 4K, and we have to be able to say that and understand that is true. Most films, I mean, first of all, most films never even made it past VHS. There's still a huge number of films that are still locked VHS and behind. Beyond all of that, the worst thing that you could really count on is saying, I'm not going to buy this Blu-ray because I'll wait for the 4K. The reality is, nowadays that is happening way less often. Sure, 4K upgrades are happening, especially like territory wise. You might buy it on Blu-ray here and 4K go elsewhere, but most of the time that's not going to happen. And if you look down and actually count the number of releases, you'll see it's not the majority of time. It's not even like 70% of the time. It's way less than that.
So it's good that you said that, because again, I do hear that a lot. You know, if something's coming on a Blu-ray, the first thing people say was, I'll just wait for the 4K. You know, and you're saying that might not be, it all depends maybe on the studio too. Like some movies, the studios be like, this is all I get, and that's it, right? Like,
well, not only that, you are what could kill the industry. The person saying, I'll wait for the 4K, a lot of times these companies need you to buy that Blu-ray to survive. They need a sufficient amount of sales, and it's not, hey, we'll put out the 4K if 2,000 people buy this Blu-ray. That's a joke. They're not waiting for you to wait to upgrade. They're saying, this is what we could get. We put it out, and hopefully you can get it.
No, I mean, that's a great answer. And I mean, that's definitely questions that I get. And, you know, I wanted to kind of get your opinion on it. Like, I have a good TV. I mean, I have an OLED TV. Granted, I have a 4K player. I don't have an $800 4K player. So is that making a big difference? I don't know. Like I said, I think the Blu-rays look great. I think 4Ks look great. I never look at them and say, oh, this is shitty. Sure, time and time again, you'll find a Blu-ray that the quality isn't that great. I said that with Creepshow too. I wasn't planning on buying the damn thing.
Right.
And then when I put in the first Creepshow that Scream Factory did on 4K and saw the difference between that and the Arrow Blu-ray, I'm like, holy mackerel, it's like night and day. So I was like, let me try the 4K. And they sent that 4K over for Creepshow 2. And I was like, oh my God. Like, that was a huge difference from from the Blu-ray of Creepshow 2, which was also pretty old at that point. That came out probably like 10 years ago, and time flies so much you forget like that was 10 years ago. So there are times that does happen. But people were asking too, like with you talking about the VHS and stuff, are there any movies that you're looking at now that you're like, wow, this hasn't had an upgrade since VHS to DVD? I'm definitely going to see what's going on with this one.
Well, not only that, like I just mentioned, I went to Seattle for 5 days. I spent hours in Scarecrow Video scouring their shelves and took all kinds of pictures of stuff that they have. They're the largest. For those that don't know, Scarecrow Video in Seattle is the largest privately owned home video collection. They say in the U.S., but I believe it's the world. They have over 150,000 titles. It is kind of insane. And when you go through there, they have all the formats that they need to for these titles, and there are thousands of VHS copies. There are thousands of DVDs. There are thousands of titles that have never made it to the HD world. And so I looked at stuff. I looked at genres that I love. I looked at filmmakers that I love. I took a whole bunch of pictures, and I came home with what is going to be literally months and months and months of homework to try to figure out rights for some of these titles.
That's good to know, because like I said, I do a lot of series talking about that stuff. And, you know, I've talked to other people and been like, what's going on with this? And, you know, sometimes the rights are tied up. Sometimes they're lost, and, you know, there's no prints available, you know? So, I mean, again, there's so much to it, but it's cool that you're able to do that. Now, what is this Scarecrow Video? Is this like you go in and look around? Are they selling? Are they renting? Like, what's going on in there?
Scarecrow Video is two things. They do sell some used and some new discs, but the reality, most of them, they are a rental store that is still very active in Seattle, but you can rent nationwide from Seattle, and they'll send you discs like you used to get in the old Netflix days. It's not all 150,000 are available online, but most of them are. And I think most people would be excited to see what they have and what they offer. But the reality is a lot of those titles are incredibly rare. And at that point, it would be really stupid to mail something from Seattle to New York City or from Seattle to Atlanta, Georgia, and hope that you get it back. And so if it's super rare, they probably will not be sending it out. So, yeah.
This is what I hear about a lot. Light of Day with Michael J. Fox still stuck on VHS.
Sure is. Sure is. On the wish list.
Nice. You got some subs going on. Ryan sub just because he likes that blob poster over there. So. I don't know. I haven't had any issues like this. People are saying 4Ks are skipping or breaking or anything like that. I haven't really found any of that happening.
I mean,
but
the reality is, yeah, 4K discs do skip when you
I've
have
had skips. Breaking, no, but
when you have cheaper players. That is the most of the time that you'll see it. When you have lower quality players, that's when it gets difficult. And a lot of those lower quality lasers, they have trouble going up to that third layer of the disc. And at that point, it's tough. And what's even harder is I recognize that I'm saying this from a point of privilege because I run an Oppo and they don't even make Oppos anymore. So it's like the worst thing to say, hey, you should buy a better player. You can't even buy the one that I'm on right now. So I can't even recommend it. But I mean, there are players out there right now that the highest end player, I believe, is a Magnetar. Their highest end player is like $3,500, literally. I'm not saying you should go get it, but I'm just saying there are very high-end players that are super reliable that will probably do the best thing that you can. The reality is the high-end Panasonics that are usually about $700, though you can get them on sale. Like 220 Electronics, they'll give you like a 20% off code a lot of times. The higher-end Panasonics are pretty damn good for what they do.
Yeah, somebody was just asking about if you recommended anything specific nowadays.
Well, there we go.
Justin has, can you make a 3-hour documentary showing the titles of Scarecrow's collection?
3 hours would be barely enough to even go through all of their rooms. Showing individual titles would literally take like days. Not kidding at all. It was insane.
Now, were you just there alone, or did you have some people with you and you guys were kind of, taking turns in different areas? And
well, funny enough, I just through helping out with things online and with the award show, I know some people that work at Scarecrow, and so I got a tour of the place and backstory behind some of the rooms, and it was a lot. I mean, the story of what they've had to do with expanding over the years. This is their second location. The amount of rooms, I mean, trying to do it from memory, they have like one main room, and then upstairs in two different directions goes off to at least like 6 other rooms, and each of those is like a labyrinth of aisles. It's kind of insane to picture unless you've been there. Immense overwhelm feeling if you're just standing in there, for sure.
Wow, that place sounds cool. So you said it was in Seattle?
Seattle, Washington. It is amazing, absolutely incredible.
We'll see. I mean, so if you're in Seattle, you got to head over to Scarecrow Video and check it out.
Yep.
Now, again, if people, I don't know if you want to be bombarded with stuff, right? But if people all of a sudden are like, oh, hey, this is stuck on VHS, like, I'm going to send it over to Ryan to look for. Like, I mean, do you care? Do you not want that? Are you doing your own thing? Like, again, if you look at, I'm on a series doing that all the time. I'm going to put another one out tomorrow about these DVD and VHS movies. Right now, I'm just focusing on horror mainly. But again, there's a lot of stuff that I have in my collection that is just like dormant at this point. But because people are asking about that, and I didn't know if it was anything that you'd want people to reach out to you, with ideas or anything like that.
I mean, I do all of this because of the community. The only reason I started my channel at the beginning was to be with other people and find out other people that love this stuff. So absolutely, I would love to hear about it. That being said, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be able to do what you're asking for. Right. That doesn't mean I can have a 20 email conversation about it. I am quite busy, but for anybody that knows me or follows my stuff, like I respond to everybody on everything. And so I'm here. I'm able to answer questions. I do what I can to support this community. I work with, gosh, at this point, I think I'm over like 20 of these boutique companies that aren't my own. I produce discs for other companies. I do special features. And now to do all this on my own while maintaining a day job as well. It's a lot, but happy to do what I can to make everybody happy.
Yeah. I mean, again, maybe just put something on your radar, I guess. Right?
Exactly.
Like someone's asking about Loverboy now with Patrick Dempsey. I think all Dempsey's stuff is probably hung up with maybe Disney or something like that. There's a bunch of Haim stuff. Same thing. I don't know where the heck all that stuff is. I have a 15 Haim movies right here that haven't seen the light of day since VHS and DVD. So I don't know what's going on with his library.
The reality is Disney owns a lot more than just Fox, and a lot of people, they
Mm-hmm.
only think of Disney and Fox, and sadly Disney has bought a lot of really small companies over the years, and they don't give a shit about these movies like we do. It's not something that they're interested in, the headache of licensing, because they I mean, to them, they'll make more money with one of their amusement parks being open for an hour than they will putting out any of these movies. So it just doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%. All right, Ryan, anything else you want to talk about before we bail tonight? But man, it's been good to kind of catch up, see all the stuff
Thanks.
you've been doing.
Yeah.
Again, I know you said you were going to head to Panic Fest again this year. I would love to. Don't know if I'm going to hit it up because I did kind of commit that I might go to Living Dead weekend, and I don't know if I can make both work, but
Right.
maybe, it's always cool because I can stay with Justin down there. So it's, kind of free room and board. I just got to pay for a flight.
Yeah.
But if I see you, man, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the other big thing that we didn't break into is, if you love all this stuff, I put out a film and physical media focused magazine as well. It's called The Physical Media Advocate. You can check that out through my Patreon or through Amazon. It's available worldwide there. It's also available in about 10 or 12, gosh, even more stores at this point, I think, across the U.S., one in Canada. You can pick it up in Scarecrow Video in Seattle. You can pick it up at Videotech in Los Angeles, Videodrome in Atlanta, Georgia, Legends in Granby, Massachusetts, and like 7 other stores. It is usually somewhere between 40 and 60 pages with commissioned cover art on every single issue. We've got exclusive interviews. We got an interview coming up with one of the cast members of Jackass. Like, we go all out for a magazine. We've got all of the release dates listed. It is a huge resource that I hope people check out because it's pretty incredible.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Again, I appreciate you chatting it up with me. Again, good luck with
you.
Antenna. Good luck with the Rewind Award show, which again is February 15th. That's a Sunday. You said it was 7 p.m.?
7 p.m. Eastern. Yes, sir.
Shelf Shock Physical Media Awards. Definitely check those out. And guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Ryan's info is in the description if you want to go follow him at The Disconnected. I'm Garrett at Born2BeRad. If you liked what you saw here tonight and you are not a subscriber, definitely hit that subscribe button and check out the videos. Guys, thank you guys again. This is Garrett at Born2BeRad. And like always, stay